Hey, what's up, guys? Someone at T92 here of Retribution Gaming. With me, I have Two Tap, Atlantis, and Wolfer. Guys, intro yourselves away.
Hello, hello. I'm Wolfer. Thank you guys for having me again. Another great episode of Wayfinder. Got some exciting things with the mid-content update, and we have two special guests to talk about it all. How are you doing, Atlantis and Two Tap?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having us again. My name is Atlantis. I make Wayfinder videos on YouTube, and really just addicted to the game. You guys know this.
Hello. I'm Tutap. I'm also I just started Wayfinder streaming, so I'm new to Twitch, but
Nice, you started streaming, so that's a big up from last time you were on. Damn, we'll plug you all in. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even know that. Well, congratulations. How's it all been?
it's been pretty good. I think I started 1 week ago, and I'm almost affiliated. So I
Oh,
mean,
dude,
it's
that's
been
amazing.
much better than I thought.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. What days do you stream? Are you doing daily or?
So I'm doing daily, and I think I'm doing like 6 to 8 hours every day.
Nice. What time
But
zone are you at for the people who want to check you out?
Oh yeah, and it's CST 3 p.m. to like 11 p.m.
Nice. No, I'm glad. I'm glad you picked up streaming. I think that suits you really well with your play style and everything.
I can imagine a lot of people want to watch.
Yeah, definitely one play style I would definitely want to watch. Hearing some numbers off just before we started the recording.
I like to see the insane numbers of his inventory, and all the items.
Yeah, I actually just hit 1 million memory fragments the other day, and also
Oh
10
my
mil
god.
coins.
What a player. What a player. Tom, what do we have today? Well, what's on the
Okay,
agenda?
so we
Mhm.
have the first thing first being the thoughts on the mid-season update, the Reaver King, right? So
Oh,
with
big
this,
talk.
yeah. Let's start with the quest line. How did you guys think of the quest line, including the triple shadow imbuement that you were forced to play through? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Let's start with Atlantis first and work our way around Two Tap, Warfare, and then end on me.
I actually enjoyed the quests this time around. I liked how Wormwood you got into that fairly quickly. You didn't with the prerequisite quests weren't drawn out, and then picking up the triple shadow imbue. I thought it was neat to finally see what the point was with the double shadow imbue. I used to, obviously you could spawn them when you cleared them out, but it just felt kind of random. And now it makes a lot more sense with the torch.
Yeah.
I think we've tried a couple bosses with those already, and I think that's going to be an interesting added mechanic for boss challenges and that. But definitely, I enjoyed the main story quest. The side quests, the Secret of Vala lore is pretty good and kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to see where that leads to, and eventually gonna have a video on just lore in general. But I'm waiting on a few more additions to that side of things, and then the obviously the ring quest. I don't know if you guys have started that. I think the idea of the puzzles and figuring out those is pretty neat. But I like the more static based rings, the Abhar ring and Spirad rings, where you kind of have more of an RNG element. Those are a little bit more brutal for sure. But overall, I really enjoyed the quests this time around.
Nice. Yeah, no, I'm very glad because I kind of felt the same way. The quests were very nicely done. I think this time around I made sure to just actually like read the stories as well, like the get into the lore a little bit more. Because I know like during like the last like few quests and stuff, I just kind of skipped through everything. But and I'm glad I did because I guess we'll get to it. But it kind of gave me a little hint on the Reaver King because I think whenever like someone plays for the first time, you kill him and you're like, oh, it's done, and then it's like, no, you got to kill the bear and like the Reaver King together. Like it's part of the lore a little bit. So it was kind of like it was kind of like stoked. I don't know. How did you feel, Two Tap?
I actually went for I guess you could call it world first Reaver King.
Yep.
I speed ran through the quests, but I remember them. I like that they
Yep.
introduce you to the leyline event, like you guaranteed spawn a leyline event.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the triple shadow. I like it in the quest, like you get to know the triple imbuements, but
Yep.
other than that, I don't really see why you would ever run it unless it's for an event because
Yep.
there's not really any drops tied to the imbuements. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
no.
got my Reaver King kill at 29 minutes after patch drop, so
Jesus,
that was
fair
nice.
enough. Were you
Too
streaming that
fat.
or?
Yeah, I was streaming that, and Snarf was in my chat as well. Like, oh, is
Oh,
this your
damn.
first kill? Nah, I've been running this for like 15 minutes.
Love that, love that. Just on the triple imbuements, no, I kind of agree. Like, it was definitely fun. I genuinely enjoyed that. Like the devs were like, I don't know, like I guess like thinking outside the box and like still creatively like making these dungeons and runs, I guess, with the triple imbuements. I know a lot of people like, what's the point of all this? But like, I'd much rather have this intuitivity and like creativity process going forward, if that kind of makes sense. Like, am I going to play like triple imbuements again for no reason? Probably not. But I do like where their headspace is at, and I like that they're motivated to kind of just keep going with these creative things with what they can do with imbuements and stuff. If that kind
I
of makes
would
sense.
I would like to get some like tight drops to the triple imbuement, so like
Mm,
only one specific accessory can drop from this hunt on triple
yep,
shadow. You could get
yep,
like some insanely rare purple accessory from a boss, but
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
insanely hard to
Yeah.
do because you have to do triple imbuement.
yep.
Plus, you have to kill the boss. So yeah,
Yep. No, exactly. Do we know like I know like before the content update, like if you were doing like solar imbuements only in Reaver Woods, you'd get like a specific accessory drop. Do we know if like there's any triple imbuements off that accord?
I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so. But I heard a streamer called Chloe and another one of her
Mm.
party members was trying to farm something on double solar. I think it's I don't
Yep.
remember the set, but I think it's tied to double solar.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Right.
Do you think so? Do you think the other imbuements are already pre-built? You know how like triple shadow, the torch just kind of seamlessly worked well with the double shadow gloom.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, okay, double flora. Is there something already like? Is it going to be synergized really well, or is it going to change it completely? But because I feel like the triple shadow synergizes pretty well with
Pretty
double
well.
shadow.
Oh, that's interesting. It could go both ways, I reckon. Like I can see it going both ways. Triple Flora, I just don't even know like where the devs want
Right?
to take it. Like I'm scared. What do you
All of them
think,
sound crazy.
Tom? No. I like that. I like this. Tom, what do you think?
All right, so I'll just start with the topic and then move on to Atlantis' one.
Hmm.
Questline was okay.
Yep.
I was recording the whole thing, so I didn't actually pay too much attention to it at the time because
Yeah.
I've got to sit back and watch it back multiple times while I like editing through. So thought I'll just pick that up in the edit. Um, the Wormwood was a fun encounter. I was expecting it to be a little harder. And I mean, even on tier 4 with double greed that we just done wasn't too hard. It's, is what it is. The Reaver King, however, is a very entertaining fight.
Tom's new playmate.
What's that?
I just said it's your new playmate.
It has been. I've just butchered it in that team contest. It's funny enough. I set the record for it, and now I've butchered it in the team contest. Ironic, right?
Okay.
But that fight for me is a new personal favorite. It's up there with the first.
Nice.
I kind of wish they made more fights mechanically like that, where you have to do X, Y, Z to do it. And the ads as well are quite a pain.
Well, just on that, I just like that like the Reaver King is not invulnerable for like a long amount of time like other bosses. Like his mechanics are really good and you can still damage him. I think there's like only like 2 split seconds where he's actually invulnerable, which makes him a fun fight, you know? And you can like do like fun things like how fast you can kill this guy because it actually makes sense to do so. With the first, like obviously you have like a lot of breaks and stuff, which kind of makes it annoying, but
this fight, it made Wingrave more useful as well. Beforehand, there wasn't much of a purpose.
yeah.
Now he has a purpose. You can bypass that purpose though with Wayfinders that can kill the fight, really fast. But he now has a use for the majority of players, and especially Wingrave mains and stuff. Like he's now useful. Yeah, the quest line though, you'll see that when I upload it.
Okay.
I didn't pay too much attention.
That's-
You'll also
yep.
see that on the Reaver King on the first playthrough as well, where it's kind of like, oh, okay, these two need to be killed. It was really nice.
Mhm.
As for the triple imbuement, I didn't like it.
Okay.
I thought it was a neat idea, but I'm not one for having like the color the whole screen changed color. Like that's not really.
Yep.
It's not mechanically challenging. It's like it's just color inversion, which is annoying to me. Really, I don't know whether that's because I've just got ADHD and that shit bugs the hell out of me or what. But yeah, not didn't enjoy it. Didn't enjoy it. As for what the other imbuements may be, I'm more looking forward to seeing what like triple greed may be.
Well, what do you think that would be though? Because, well, like, because double greed or like double flora, well, double greed is just like like an armor, right? So, like, how, would it be more integrated, like a triple greed, or is it just going to be a completely new effect?
I would like to see a new effect.
Right.
I think the armor thing should remain. That should be,
Mm.
but there should be something added on top. Fuck
Yeah.
knows what it would be though. But um,
What would you like, Atlantis? Do you have any ideas?
Man, for like any triple imbuement or that one specifically?
Oh, yeah, for any.
Uh, I don't know. I think I don't know. Actually kind of curious what like triple chaos would be as well.
Yeah, yeah, like the Trickster one, that would be really cool. I wonder what like a triple solar will be, because like double solar is like a pain already. So it'll be
Mm.
really interesting to see what a triple solo will be. Or even like mix and match. Like, so
The
you go like a 2 solar and then like what, like, I don't know, a flora and that will be kind of thing.
If
Right.
you look on the Wayfinder DB, you can actually see what's it gonna be called.
Oh,
So
okay.
triple solar is gonna be called supernova. So I think
Oh god. It's just gonna be a
It
meteor
sounds
like
deadly.
every 20 seconds.
I sent a link in the general chat. You can just take a look. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah, for
supernova,
sure.
which looks like a sun, where it's
Mm,
like burns around or something like that.
yep,
And triple greed is vault rush. So maybe you have to rush through the dungeon to get the like maybe there's a giant chest at the end.
yep.
And then triple chaos is wheel of fate. So maybe it's like when you load in, there's a giant wheel you have to spin, and you get a
And then,
random
oh, I like
event
that.
or something like that.
That'd be really cool. And then like on the wheel, it could be like tied to like an accessory drop or something as well, like an event or something.
But and then you have mandrakes, which is triple flora. So maybe there will be
Mm.
some drakes. I don't know.
Yeah, the
that
Vault
spits
Rush looks good. Like
poison.
Triple Greed is a Vault Rush, so there might be like, I don't know, like walls popping up or something like that, and you got to beat it in like a certain amount of time.
Yeah, exactly. You also have
Oh,
something called the loose change. It
oh
has
yeah,
2 greed and then some purse. I don't know what that
yeah.
is, but
I think it's
interesting.
like an error, but yeah, no, that'll be really interesting. Yeah, some neat stuff to look forward to.
I hope the triple chaos has like if it is a spin of fortune, there better be like an insta down on there. That'd be pretty interesting, right?
That'd be great.
How unlucky are you? Yep, I like that.
Okay, so with that all said, we then move on to the new weapons part of that.
Oh,
So
good.
we got 3 new weapons, and then we
Mm,
had the ability to build one if you don't own the battle pass. So we had Legacy Rose and Thorn, if I remember correctly,
yep.
and then we had the axe that I just can't remember the name of right now. Perhaps why you
Eclipse.
two can know that off the top of your head. Eclipse, yeah.
Eclipse.
Mhm.
So, like, what are your thoughts on that? Because so far, Eclipse is kind of like, yeah, it's okay. But I'm not liking the weapon ability right now, where you kind of have to. It doesn't use the whole bar, right?
I
It's
was about to
you
say
have
the
to.
same, actually. I would like it for use all your momentum and then do 3 extra damage instead. Because the
Yeah,
fact that you have some downtime. You like locked in frame when you throw your axe, and you can't really dodge while you do it. So if it would just be like one cast and you can start hitting again, that would be great.
yeah. I think until it does that, I don't think it competes with Titan Bane.
Yeah, me neither.
On the weapon ability, I think it's too slow. Uh, And then Legacy, I know Vecna tried it for a couple of meme runs, but
Mm.
wasn't too bad.
I
It's
actually have a
okay.
Yeah.
sorry about that.
I mean, I want to try.
Me, Atlantis,
Yep.
me, Atlantis, and Hane, one of the guild mates. We were all leveling up Legacy and Beastmaster, and we like cycled through our weapon ability, and we could just stand there, just beating this Beastmaster up without taking any damage. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty
But I
funny.
mean,
Yeah.
the fight was pretty long, but I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
take any damage.
Well, did you guys try it on Ven by any chance?
I was playing it on Ven, but it was really low level. Like I was just leveling up the weapons.
Yeah.
So.
No, because I would eventually want to do like a Ven build on it, because then like maybe you can prioritize crit a little bit more than healing, because you get the healing from the weapon anyway, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah, it
So I
could
thought
be.
like
I
there
also
was like some
have
potential there.
I also have a problem with Legacy at the moment. I don't know if it's a bug. I hope that there's a bug, because when you use the ability on yourself, you get a shield for it's a set amount of time,
Yep.
or if the enemy hits you too much, then the shield goes away. But if you
Right.
use the weapon ability while you still have the shield, the timer doesn't reset, and it doesn't refill your shield. So
Right.
essentially, I had a lot of times where I used the shield ability, and then I got it up again, and I used it, and when I used it, I actually lost my shield. So I had to build up a new
Ah.
shield.
Okay.
So
The
so I think that if they fix that, I could definitely see this being a really not good DPS weapon, but
a
defensive
good
weapon, if
support,
that's
yeah.
ever gonna be if that's ever gonna be relevant in the future.
Mm. No, that's fair. Because like yeah, and then the one weapon I was gonna get your thoughts on and I didn't get to play was Rose and Thorn, the dagger. Like, how's that going? How you guys, if you guys have tried it?
Yeah, I've been playing it. I'm just now. I'll probably get it 30 later tonight. So just leveling it up. I kind of feel as far as aesthetically, like the cosmetic variant of it. I wish they did a different animation other than the same animation as Venom throwing it into the
Yeah.
ground.
Well, like that's a big criticism, right? Like even like the description, it was just like very, very similar to the Venom daggers.
Yeah, I mean the after when they when you rip the daggers out of the ground, it's a pretty cool animation.
Okay.
Bacon, one of the streamers as well, Bacon, made a good point. Maybe it's a placeholder, but I feel like Rose and Thorn. I just imagine like a spinning move of petals just going out, or
Yeah.
thorns going. But the weapon power out is pretty good. Yeah, once I get to 30, I can really try it out.
Yep.
Legacy, I do like the queue. I think it might be neat to like weave in depending on how intricate and difficult raids are. I
Sure.
could see
Yep.
it being kind of cool to bring in, but I Eclipse, unfortunately mine is invisible, so
Oh.
it's kind of made it hard to like finish my overview video on that, and
Yeah.
like when I'm throwing it, like it's just odd to play because it's invisible. So I throw it, I see the numbers, I know what it does, but everything just feels kind of weird.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I also like the daggers. I'm very curious about the
Mm.
weapon ability, because it debuffs the enemy, so everybody
Yeah.
else gets a little damage buff when they hit the enemy, or like it applies more damage when you hit the
Yep.
enemy. I haven't really tested it that much, but I could
No.
definitely
No.
see it being better than the Harvest Moon, because the Harvest Moon is so random. I mean,
Yeah. I'm
you
not
have to
sure.
be
Like.
like
Yep.
you have to be scratching the guy's back to get the buff, and then you hit
Exactly.
light, but the enemy is dark, and that's
Yep.
so I mean
And it just becomes, yeah, the buffs are very inconsistent, so I can definitely see it being better than, yeah, as you said, Harvest Moon. But I still think Nightshade is probably the better dagger still.
I'm a
Nightshade is a gun.
Venom rocker, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Night's Edge, but yeah,
Night's Edge, sorry, Night's Edge, my bad, yeah.
Feels bad, Wolfer, man. How long have you
Yep.
been playing this
Yeah,
game?
look, it's like 8 in the morning for me. Give me a little bit of a
it's
break.
early. It's early.
It's early. But no. And what do you guys feel about the nerfs and stuff that came about with the weapon changes?
They
Uh,
nerfed my Tempest.
They did. They did. They
Yeah,
nerfed my
but I mean,
Arcstorm. Like,
I
I feel like I mean, now I'm gonna ruin it
Mm,
for myself, but if they really want to hit Tempest, they should either change the echo slots, because Tempest has
yep.
insane echo slots. It has double
Yeah.
offensive and a
Yep.
balance, and then a rush echo.
Hmm.
Um, but they should also just nerf the base damage of the weapon, because the weapon ability, yeah, it does a lot of damage. And they actually, okay, so I must say the nerf to where you cannot shoot while you're queuing, it's actually insane, because I was doing that a lot before, and now it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you can't really do that. So, but yeah, they should definitely nerf the base damage, and
for sure.
if they really want to ground the weapon. But I don't think they should really be thinking about nerfs at the moment.
No, no, I
Uh,
think yeah,
let people have fun with what they can, because there aren't really that much in the game.
much things to have
So
fun with. Yeah, like that's what I meant.
exactly.
Like the overpoweredness of the three weapons was something I was like really enjoying. Like Arcstorm being like what Arcstorm, I mean it still is, but like what it was just like really fun and like dire times of like experience leveling. You know, did we really need the buffs now, or could we have just had like a few more months to like have like just be a bit more engaged with the game before like free to like Founder Season 2 came with whatever changes they're going to bring out with that, and then maybe thinking about nerfs then.
I'm of a different opinion to that,
Right.
and
Okay.
it's kind of spoilers for another topic later as well. But
Mm.
I'm kind of glad they did bring stuff more in line with other weapons and kind of open up like options.
Yeah.
Because I mean, do you really need this game to be Warframe 2.0? Like, do we really need overpowered weapons, or can we take the MMO approach and have things more balanced out? Like, it's cool, don't get me wrong. Like, when the old Titan's Bane, for example, just absolutely
Yep.
obliterated stuff. But right now, it still obliterates stuff. It's not a bad weapon, it's still a top tier weapon. And I feel even with Arcstorm and Tempest nerfs, they are still legit solid picks
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. If anything, like, they done what they set out to do. They wanted these weapons
Mm.
closer to the others, right? So not everything felt like, oh, you have to pick these weapons if you want to do this. They wanted some different options. So it's like I can trade off a little bit of damage here from Titan's Bane and like go over to Eclipse, for example, in its current state. You are going to lose damage, but you may gain something else that you don't have on Titan's Bane, for example. And keeping in mind, when I'm talking about that, I'm also including the stats that are based on the weapons as well. So if one's got like more HP or more ability power, like those come into play as well. But I'm kind of happy where things sit. I think a lot of people overreacted to the nerfs. I know when I saw the Titan's Bane on paper,
It
when I
looked
read
really
out the
bad.
patch
Yeah.
notes, it looked really bad, yeah. But after playing with it, it's not a bad weapon. It's not a bad weapon. It's not as bad as people making out on Reddit. It's not as bad as people making out on Discord. And it's certainly not as bad as what one YouTuber's saying as well. So
No, I agree with that, but I think like if that was the point, like which is for like people to like try out or be more inclined to try other weapons, then you have to nerf. I think like what Two Tap was kind of getting at, like actually make the nerfs more like seem like feasible, right? Like if you'd like actually fix the Tempest like base damage or change the echo slots, then like I'd be like, okay, the Tempest is not that great anymore. Let me try another gun or something. But like now it just feels like the nerfs really didn't do anything, but like just like take away like the fun stuff. Maybe I don't know. Like that's just like like playing devil's advocate kind of thing.
I could see them doing that later down the line when there's a bigger weapon pool to play with and that. And I can also see them doing similar things for possible Wayfinders. But
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a little more variety before we're at the point of changing slots around, because a lot of these weapons people are going to get invested in, so you don't ideally want to constantly like. I mean, look when the heroic Kairos came out with the wrong slot on, right?
Yeah.
I mean that was quite a change for people, and they didn't like it, and I'd say just let's settle, take these stat changes what they are, and later down the line come and correct them. To be fair though, I think the devs have bigger problems on their hands, and this was just kind of like a quick way that they could try and get their goal done. I don't really think they've got the time to do what we want them to do
For sure.
at the
Yep.
moment. I think they're still trying to push season 2 out on time.
Definitely think it's because too many people was angry about the Titan's Bane nerfs, because guns are, I mean, pre-nerf Titan's Bane was good, but Tempest pre-nerf was like insane, and it's still
Mm.
insanely strong. So yeah,
Yep.
I think people was just angry that they
Like,
didn't
there
nerf
was
the
just a
guns
nerf.
and instead
Yeah.
went for the two-handers.
No, exactly. Because I think like playing melee like over range is like harder itself. So like just I think like on paper mentally just being hit with a nerf, it's like oh no, like things just got like infinitely worse when like you actually play like with Titan's Bane as you're saying, with even with the nerf, it's actually really good. It still feels really good, you know?
Yeah. Atlantis, do you have any input that you want to put on the weapons there, buddy?
I agree with you actually, Tom. I think that I think all three of those weapons are still in really, really good shape. I know it's never fun to have like your own weapon nerfed for anyone. You never it's
Yep.
super strong. You want to keep it that way, but they're like Tap said. I mean, both left clicks for both guns are untouched. It's just the Qs pretty much.
Yeah.
Titan's Bane still. I mean, your Wingrave video, I've seen it. It's pretty nasty still. So the one thing I am curious. I don't think the buffs to Hellswarm are good enough. I think that it's still too random. And like
Yep.
if you're trying to burst down a couple enemies in front of you, yeah, sure, maybe one or two of the meters now will hit a mob, but there's still just so much wasted. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but I wish they could consolidate some of the meters, have just as many meteors appearing, but consolidate them more into a general area, and it would be pretty good. But I don't know if you guys tried it out since the buff.
I wish that they had something like outer target or something, because as far as I know, the meteors doesn't do that much damage at the beginning. So if they just auto target, like or if you just the animation on Hellswarm, you fire like one big one out and it explodes to all these smaller ones.
Yeah.
But if they just keep the big one, so you kind of know where it goes, or just
Exactly.
do
Kind of like a
targeting
Vent's
on the
ultimate
small
kind of thing.
ones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I get that. The one thing I was gonna ask
because
is it still like can you still catch friendly fire with it?
I don't know. I haven't really used it that much. I didn't even know you could catch friendly fire with
Well,
it.
that's why I had to stop playing Hellstorm because I was so excited for the weapon, and then whenever I use the ability, like I'll just die to the meteor. So I'm like, well, that's great.
Oh wow! So to your own?
Yeah, to your own
That's
meteors.
funny.
Yeah.
Could you kill your teammates with it? That's the important question, right?
The amount of times I kill Vecna with it is hilarious.
Oh, I'm doing that
Cool.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna go pug in.
No.
Let's see how many.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah. So I was hoping that might fit the friendly fire with the buff, but yeah, it needs a bit of work for sure.
If it's friendly fire still there, it's going to be good times for me. Good times.
Yeah. How dare you go down in that fight? Let me just.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just finish you off. How about the art? So we got the new artifact. I believe it's just the one that came out. There might be another though. I'm not sure, but we do have the Reaver King artifact, and we do have new accessories. Now, the accessories, as far as I'm aware, are not usable because of the
higher levels.
the level, right?
Yeah, well, higher levels, yeah.
But what do you think of the set bonuses on these?
I could definitely see the Wormwood set being maybe useful, but from the stats alone, it's just a worse Hazardous set, like the one that Venomess already uses with the Deceiver and the Dread Legion accessory.
Yep.
But you have the percent break power as the set bonus, and you also have the new Marrow Echo. That when you break an enemy, you get 10% more crit rating and 20% more crit power. So I could see that working together as like you get more break power, you can break enemies easily, and you can get the 20% more crit power more easy.
The one question we actually had, me and Vecna were talking about, is it so same as the artifact? Is it a flat 10% added on to you, or is it 10% of your existing stat? Because that's not really specified.
Oh,
Any
I haven't
thoughts
tested
on
it
that?
out.
Yeah, I haven't tested that. I would not know.
That would be a big,
interesting though, wouldn't
big discrepancy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered artifacts and accessories. Wolford, did you have anything you wanted to add on about the artifact or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, I mean, I'm assuming you guys have got the artifact by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys tested? Like, do you guys have you do you like the whole artifact, like the break power bonus and stuff, or do you just prefer it to? Are you just using your other artifacts for making them more active?
Oh, I was just I haven't really used it much, but solo play with daggers, I generally don't break through the break power that
Exactly.
much.
Yeah.
So like generally they're dying if I'm finally breaking them anyway.
Mhm.
I feel like it could be cool, obviously more in a group setting if I'm playing daggers, but
Yep.
at the same time though, like when I'm solo, I can't remember the name. I guess the one where you need to be full health. Like if I think about it now, though, there's very little time where I'm full health as
full
well.
health.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like just for me a toss up sometimes. I actually like
Yep.
artifacts more when it's group play versus solo.
I used
Yeah,
the Reaver King artifact when it was bugged, so it basically reset your whole crit rating and just gave you a flat 10%. So I actually think that gives you a flat 10%. Ever since then, when they did the hotfix, I didn't really test it because I'm running Silo with Tempest, so crit rating isn't really my priority.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
running the Grand Deceiver
Yep.
and the Twins
The twins.
artifact.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree. I think us three are like a bit more of like either like you said Silo or Ven players, so we don't really see the need for artifact. But Tom, you're like the Wingrave person, so it's really like, do you see yourself running it all the time for break power?
I do see myself running it now because I mean, what are the other options, right? There's not really
Yeah.
anything. So right now, it's going to be a must-have for Wingrave.
Yep.
Does it help that much? I'm not really noticing it too much. But I do like the reward, like how it's earned. So you do X to get Z, if that makes sense. So like you break the bar and then you get this. I do like that, and I hope they do more along those lines.
Yep.
Not sure how they could like implement others off
Yeah.
the top of my head right now, but more like that would be welcome.
Well, we got the Dread
like-
Legion artifact hopefully being implemented in a couple of months. It'll be interesting to see like what that does, right?
I'm hoping so we've got an ability power, we've got a crit one, so I'm hoping either probably crit
Weapon
power,
power?
or weapon power. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be great. That or resilience actually. I won't mind a resilience one right about now after the stuff I just had tonight. Yeah.
I actually have an idea for the Dread Legion because
Mm.
the Dread Legion is already out, but we haven't received the artifact yet. So my theory is that when hard mode hunts get released, we can get it from hard mode Dread Legion because
Yep.
it says in the roadmap. I at least believe that it says that artifact also drops from hard mode, like locked tied to
Yeah.
hard mode. Because
No, that makes
I
sense.
don't see why we wouldn't have it right now because the Dread Legion is already out.
I think unless I missed it, I think Tap doesn't know this yet, but we have a bet going. He thinks it's hard mode Dread Legion. I think it's Void Whisper.
Yeah,
And
yeah, 'cause I was just
if
about
he
to
wins,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Atlantis, you gotta remember, there's two shadow artifacts released. There's also the little torch thing.
yeah. Well, I'm just
What are
saying,
the
I'm going with
stakes,
the
though?
tentacle.
What are the stakes? What happens
The
if
stakes.
Atlantis
Well, we
wins?
haven't talked about it, but I think Tap.
Yeah,
I'll give
yeah.
him 500 memory fragments. If I lose, he gives me 500,000.
No. You gotta sell all your trickster coins. That's the
Oh,
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh boy,
I was going with,
that,
with a bit more friendly, where Atlantis might, donate like a few subs or something. But all right, we're going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going for the jugular.
that's an interesting bet though.
Yeah.
Got to win. I should have thought about that with Malt. Either you win or you wipe out your trickster coin collection and stuff.
Oh dear God.
Tap
I think
has to
me and
start a
Atlantis
fresh
will be
account.
like. I think me and Atlantis will be like 5-1. I have like 260 trickster coins, and you have like how many?
I probably got 70 if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
I get scammed all the time in Reaver Woods. Those tricksters.
No, me too. Like my coins collection is abysmal at best. It's not looking good.
Am I the only person that gets trickster coins in those woods? Like most
Yes.
times I'm there.
You must.
I get them all the time.
Like
Yeah.
two taps see me, man. Two taps see me when we went to the woods, right? It's like I'm straight on that. I'm straight over to the tricks as a coin.
Oh,
I
God.
think we've done like 3 or 4 runs, and I think it's only one run we didn't get a coin on.
Yeah, no. So overall, like, final thoughts on the whole mid-season update, and are you just guys looking forward to Founders Season 2? Where are we at? before we move on?
I enjoyed it. I think I do like Wormwood. I honestly I think Tom mentioned it. I do agree. I think it's very on the simple side.
Yep.
The seed mechanics about knocking them out is cool, but like honestly, you can ignore that stuff.
Yeah.
I think he looks like a cool raid boss. I kind of wish he was a raid boss, way more difficult, bigger platform, mechanics like the seeds where if you don't get them out, I think Tap was saying this before stream, but sorry Tap, I'm gonna take it, but Tap was saying something like, it makes everybody die if you don't do that type of thing. I would like to see more phases like that where you have to do things, or maybe the team has to split up and do different things and like
That would
raids
be
to come.
cool. Well, I
But
mean, I was hoping he would be like an open world boss, to be honest, because he just suited like an open world boss. And like, especially with like the new frozen maps and stuff coming out, like he would be in a perfect fit there. But like, he's like a simpler Beastmaster right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy it. Reaver King's really cool. I think that's
I think that's
cool
the
fight.
highlight. I think that's probably the highlight of the season, which was very refreshing.
Yeah, and then I'm also Tap was trying it out a little bit, and I'm interested in seeing how useful it might be in like being able to build a healing, like a support character for raids when they come out. But the Wormwood Echo and the heal,
Yeah,
and like you stacking that up later on. I mean, that might be neat, but I
That
liked
was-
it so far.
That heal doesn't do shit though.
Oh, lovely.
It's I don't like it. I mean, it's every 2 seconds on my silo. I heal 93 HP, but like every dot you need to auto-sustain is like 600. So
Right.
I
Yep.
mean, it's not really that
I
good.
think it's
And
just like
also the cost is just
the cost and
yeah,
also the cooldown time was a bit too much for me, right? Like I think it
it's
was
like
just a
1
bit
minute,
too
I
much.
think.
1 minute, I was like, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, you actually said something about Wormwood and Beastmaster. Like
yep,
I would say the same. Like Wormwood is just the new Beastmaster, just with a lot more HP. I would
exactly.
much
Yeah.
rather do Beastmaster than Wormwood. I was leveling up weapons at Wormwood for a little time. But, I mean, I just find myself hitting him like a noodle until he
Yeah.
dies.
Well,
Whereas in
that's exactly it.
Beastmaster, you can kind of get similar XP, but
Mhm.
the fight is just much faster. So
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's exactly
I'm
how
not.
I feel about Wormwood, but that's right. You
I'm
hit
not.
and miss.
I'm not really interested in like. I'm very under. Jesus, I'm not really impressed by Wormwood.
Mm.
But Reaver King is my new favorite boss fight. I
Yeah.
really like that.
New best friend. No, for sure. Yeah, Tom, any closing statements before you want to move on?
I mean, I think I'm similar to Tap on that. Like
Yeah.
Wormwood could be a lot more interesting. But please do make more fights like Reaver King.
Yep.
Loving the dynamic mechanics and really good. Also loving the way they allow the ads to constantly spawn in there if you don't hit certain damage targets as well. So
Yeah.
I think if anything, it's going to be a little more difficult for the casuals, but should try and teach them strategy so they can get through it easier.
Mm.
But yeah, just make more stuff like it. As for Triple Shadow, not a fan.
Yep.
Could be better, but it could also be a lot worse. It's what it is,
Yep.
and hopefully, I enjoy the other triple elements that come out. But yeah, Triple Shadow just wasn't my cup of tea. It's not my biscuit.
But yeah, moving on. You had something you wanted to plug in a short segment, Tom?
Okay, so yeah, this one's mainly going to be done on the left-hand side of the screen, but so we've put out 2 Wingrave videos now. So we put out the Burn Bubble strat for the Reaver King, and that was like up on first on YouTube, so everyone knows now if you've got a Wingrave how to beat that boss in good time. There's a lot of people I saw on the Discord mainly getting like 7-minute clears and stuff. So how to break the fight as a Wingrave, right? Well, we're gonna take the bubble traits. We're gonna take the taunt trait to break him more, and we'll take either the shield or the one skill, and on the AOE stack up our damage until we melt. Like it was great. We got a lot of views for that as well. We got a lot of thanks for making that, and then we've put out the speed kill. which I believe I got PM this morning saying the record was something like 1 minute 58. And obviously, in Retribution fashion, we had to go and smash that, right? So, yeah,
Yep.
here we are owning it. 1 minute 56 currently, and I'd say it's going to
Yep.
be very narrow to beat on the Wingrave. Like, there is a few
Yeah.
more seconds you can claim from it, but you do need a bit of RNG. Atlantis as well was doing a Venomess record of Reaver. And Atlantis, you can fill people in on that. I'm not gonna take your starlight for that. But
Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If you guys want to speak on it, how you guys did that
the
and all
guy
that.
the guy PM'd me saying, Tom, you motivated me to get into this, right? And I was like, oh
Oh,
god, here we go. My
here we
record's
go.
been smashed already on a Wingrave. And he's like, oh, it's on a Ven. I'm like, oh, that's fine, man. That's fine. You do it on a Venomess. As long as it's not on a Wingrave yet. let me have some time in the spotlight before that's dashed away. But
Yeah.
Atlantis, take it away, buddy, with your Ven Wonder. Like, let the people know
Yeah,
what you got.
yeah, no, so originally, I just played through the story and like you mentioned, trying to get footage so that I could spend the next 3-4 days editing. And so I did the Reaver King maybe twice, 3 times just to get like the echo. And then I tried it again later and got the artifact fairly quickly for once. So I really hadn't done it very many times. And then I saw your, I think it was Training Force video and then your video, or your video first and Training Force video and then your video again. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. Like, that's a cool idea. And I'm competitive in nature. With editing, it takes a lot of time. So I was like, all right, let me try and tweaked a few different things, changed my normal build up a little bit, and then kept just chipping away. And I've gotten to a comfortable spot where it's a little consistent. But yeah, I got it down to 1 minute 36 as Ven. The hardest part is making use of all the time and like
Yeah.
using the flourishes and to avoid some of the damage that comes out. But
So I
yeah,
think
it was pretty good.
So like when I play with Wen consistently, like the first part I think is pretty self-explanatory and very easy to get him down. It's when he gets on the bear, right, is like I think what makes the difference. And how did you go about that, Atlantis?
Yeah, trying to make sure you don't hit the boss, the bear, because he dies so quick already from
Yeah.
once the boss hits out. Yeah, it's kind of like trying to get on the other side of the bear as that happens, so that when you leap, if you're going to use blade dance, you
Yep.
kind of have that clearance. And then it's a little bit. Sometimes it's a little RNG, just trying to stay away from the bear, and the bear
Yeah.
will body block you too. Like I'm sure you've had that happen as me. Like
Oh
he
yeah.
he can actually get in the way. But yeah,
It's
like you
very
said, it's just
annoying.
trying to get the boss down as fast as possible.
For
The bear will
sure.
die
Yeah.
eventually. But
Yep.
and then yeah,
Yeah,
Tap and
definitely.
we were able to get it down to, I think it was like 128, but that was not. I think that was counting like the travel time. So I'm not sure what it would be
Like
like.
Uh,
I think it would be like 119, 118.
God damn. That's some quick fights. Wow.
But I give it to Tom for I'm looking forward to if you guys have
Yep.
any things in the works like that, because
Listen,
that's really fun.
I'll
Mm.
fire up my Wingrave after this podcast and I'll try to beat that.
Tom, Tom's crying. He's gone.
No. He will be like, "Oh, I did Wingrave two-hander. You did the Wingrave Tempest."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
We're only taking Wingrave with two-handers right now.
No, but congrats, Tom, for at least Wingrave fastest,
Yeah.
at least on record, 1 minute 56. We'll leave it to Biz to sort out when they want to upload their stuff, but
I think there's going to be about 6 seconds of clearance you can get. I think you can get that about 6
yeah,
seconds shaved off. I'm not going to say where because obviously that's like spoilers, right? But I know where I can shave time off. But it's like RNG
yeah,
with the ads
Yeah.
and some
yeah.
position. All I'm going to hint is there's some positioning
Mm,
trickery at play to shave off time. Okay, that's all I'm going to
sure.
give with that.
Fair enough. No, that's some good stuff. Yeah.
The other thing I did have to say as well is the Team Nemesis versus Team Knights.
Oh god,
That
yeah, that's happening.
that's undergoing. So I'm
Yep.
actually going to give we had a little personnel change in Nemesis.
Mhm.
So we ended up having Finny come back to the game and actually take part in the event with me and Vecna. I'm gonna give a heads up as well.
Yep.
I've let the Reaver King people down. Okay, I made the guide, I made the speed run, but I fucked it on the on the kill
Yep.
on this. Not really sure if it was a bug or whether it was just the pure amount of damage coming off the ad. Whatever hit me in that fight chugged for about 1.8k resilience and 2.8k HP in 1 second.
God.
1 second. Couldn't react,
Yep.
couldn't dodge. Titan's Bane took me into it, and there I went. And I think there's one other fight that's a little messy, but I think Finney, I gotta give it a Finney here because he come in, he hasn't played any of the new bosses outside of the one test run we were allowed to do recorded pre to the event going. And yeah, like he done extremely well. So hats off if you're listening, Finney. Like thanks for filling in, and hopefully you've saved me from a really big embarrassment loss to Team Knights. Because they will never let me forget this if I lose.
Of course not. Well, I mean, I'm not going to let you forget the Reaver King if we beat you, which I think we might. So it'll be good fun.
Going down the line, because I know Atlantis and me have briefly spoke about this, is getting more events similar to what we done with ours as well going.
Yep.
Well,
now that like Atlantis has freed up a bit, and I think Hane is also your team player, right? Who's back into the game, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys have like a set team, like we're more than happy to do cross guild events, like we kind of talked about last time. But yeah,
The main team in VS right now, I think, is me, Hane, and Atlantis. We have like, I also think like we're the only team. To be fair.
That's right.
I feel like hopefully going forward we can get some cash prizes going because I know we've got that in the guild, right?
Yep.
But be nice if we can host an event down the line where there's like cash and maybe
cash
the
for everyone,
maybe the devs might come along and add some stuff in. Who knows,
If
right?
it becomes big enough, yeah, no, I agree.
Hint, hint, devs. Hint, hint. Got a good thing going here.
No, what is it, like the classic Red Bull events where Red Bull likes to come in and sponsor Wayfinder stuff?
I mean, think of it this way. I think like there is room in Wayfinder for things like this, and I feel like like what we're doing now is very friendly. It's very, you know. I feel like you could have some sort of official. I'm not sure if it could be like maybe monthly or maybe every 3 months, something like that. Official tournament. There's obviously going to be tighter ruling. You know, everyone's gear checked beforehand through Discord stream.
Yep.
Stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Different imbuements as well. We could go with, you know, change it up. Like you do these set amount of bosses on this imbuement, these set amount of bosses with these imbuement combos, etc. Like really kind of mix it up.
As well with prizes. Like you could start from like $100, like, and or like depending on how much people like want to support, or like how much like the event organizers put in and all that. Like it just like start small and build up, but it also just gets that competitive build kind of going and all that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of room for that. I do feel like later down the line it might become a bigger thing. Because right now, like, again with Wayfinder, you know, it's early access. You know, there's a small, decent chunk of players right now. I feel like this could really open up if done right down the line.
For sure. And then Atlantis to Tab, are you guys like planning on like being like a bit more competitive, or like organizing any or participating in more of these type of things, or?
I mean, for the Frosty event, a lot of people have been asking in for our strats, and we're like, we're not saying anything until we're live. I mean,
exactly.
So we're fully on the competitive side. But yeah, I mean, I would be more than happy to participate in events. I mean, if it makes sense. I mean, we were talking about how fast can people level up weapons, but I don't think. That's like time zone based, because I will be at work when the patch drops, so people will be like 3 hours ahead of me. But if it's like, okay, do this boss or like do these 3 bosses with these imbuements, and whoever does it fastest wins the prize or something, I would definitely be into that.
No, I think so too. I think those type of events are really fun, and especially now that the game has like gone up to like 15 bosses and stuff, like there's enough content out there to like organize these things, which is really nice to see.
The other
for
good thing
sure.
as well is we don't even need to do team ones. You can do solo ones as well.
Yeah. Solo players.
Which might be a little more appealing to people. Because I know at the moment we're doing team ones, but like a lot of the people in our guild don't want to join a team yet because it's still too early days. You know, what do you need a team for, really?
Yeah.
So doing solo ones could be on the cards as well for people that want to get involved. And you just turn up, you'd hit the bosses, turn in your
Yep.
times and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's
That sounds good. And especially now that Tap's going to be streaming, like, definitely have some ideas.
Yeah.
Cooking.
yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's just as like I always get asked, like, why do we do the YouTube channel for this game? Because it's a quote unquote dead game,
Yep.
but it's fun. It is pure fun. And it's the people you
Interesting.
meet.
I mean, Atlantis, do you ever get asked that question? I know we got asked a couple of times, but
Yeah. Well, to answer your previous one, yeah, I'm really competitive. So competitions, tournaments, I'm always in for sure. And then I actually I get the comments, the same stuff, dead game, whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just pretty much like Tom's saying is I really enjoy the game.
Yep.
I'm hoping they're the best, and I'm just doubling down on it, you know. But I
Exactly,
have received messages of like, would you do a different game? Why are you still making videos? But it is what it is. I
Yeah,
really enjoy
literally.
the game. So
No,
no, don't get me
exactly.
wrong. There are things that obviously have to be worked on, especially before release. Like there are definitely room for improvement. But overall, I
Yep.
do enjoy the game.
No. I mean, it's actually like nice to hear that thought coming from probably arguably the biggest YouTube content creator of the game, right?
Thank you. You guys are
Well, yeah,
nice.
because it's just like it really rings something because like I think Tom was like harping on the point as well. Like we do it for the guild and like to like because we enjoy the game and we like I guess like talking to like other people who have like the same mind like you guys, right? Like we like talking about the game together and like playing together and stuff because we all enjoy it. And then like the views and stuff is kind of secondary to us anyway. Like it's really nice that people are getting engaged with that content and stuff. But firstly, we do it because we enjoy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, I don't think any of us would be here making YouTube videos on this game if it wasn't fun, right? I feel like that's a big factor. You've got to kind of, like to be doing this long term. You kind of have to have the investment and the willingness and the enjoyment to do it. And if
and
you're
also to
not doing
believe
that,
like that this is going to be a successful game too. So I think that's cool.
you kind of have to, right? For the long term of things. And I still think this game could go miles. I think this game could go years. We will see come free to play launch. We will probably see as raids come out how they are dealt with. What we don't need is another early access launch on the free to play because that will be devastating. That will hurt it in the for a long time.
For sure.
And I think the way they handle raids, the way they approach raids, and the hard mode hunts for that matter, like the repetitive end game content.
Yeah.
That's where that's what people are going to be doing in between content patches and that, day in, day out. If they're not good enough, then it's going to be a tough pill to swallow there. Let's hope they're done right, and I hope they take their sweet ass time making those so they're done with a lot of love in the oven,
Sounds all right. And then the last little topic we had that do you want to introduce, Tom? Is this little YouTube video that you picked up?
Yeah, so this is Brozime's video on Wayfinder called The Sad Immediate Decline of Wayfinder. Now in it he has I don't know, this video is mixed because I was actually a fan of Brozime's through playing Warframe. So he's a Warframe content creator for those of you that don't know, okay? Pretty big one to be fair as well. And most of the time he's pretty on point with his topics and his opinions on like Warframes and stuff like that. Like especially the tier lists. Probably tier lists are the one thing I enjoy watching of his. But then he made this video, and he complained about like the XP. He complained about the weapon nerfs that just went on, and I really feel I had to get myself double checked on this just before bringing this topic up. Like, I've had
Yeah,
Bing
yeah.
and that read through what I'm about to say because I don't want to come across too. I know I don't always come across in a nice way. Like, sometimes I can sound aggressive, but I'm not saying this in an aggressive way or anything. But I actually want to just like bang through what I've written here, if that's all right, if you guys quickly.
No, you go
And then,
first. You go for gold.
So to start off with the XP issues, right? Like, keep in mind, game's early access. So going off the video, it honestly looks like he hasn't played for some time. And since then, they have actually buffed the XP you gain from bosses, both in hunts and expeditions. The XP isn't as bad as it actually used to be, which makes me wonder why this video came out now and not back then. Because that's when, now it's not so slow. It could be better. Don't get me wrong. And I do agree with him to a point. It could be better. But it's not as bad as it used to be. Kind of feel like before making this video, he probably should have played it a little more. I'm like, and he says they haven't been addressed. So aside from the XP buff that we got from the Hunt and Expedition Season 2, they said countless times you're going to have XP scrolls. You're also then going to have your dailies, like the job board and stuff as well. That's XP.
Yep.
And that's stuff that's not in game right now, but it's coming very soon. And that seems to be one of the criticisms he made. It wasn't the biggest one that he made. But here comes the biggest one. So the other point, looking at his video, was the nerf weapons. And this is why I kind of felt like he hasn't played the game the most. Outside of looking at his Wayfinder, his echoes and stuff, was he said he really enjoyed Titan's Bane, and because it's now been nerfed, he quotes, feels indefinitely worse now. But that's just purely wrong. It really is. That's not an opinion, that's factual. Like, I'm going with factual there. Because it's not as bad. It's almost like he's just looked at patch notes, seen, oh, that's 80% reduction on break damage, and not actually tried it. And it kind of feels like with the other weapon, like he went on to Tempest and Arcstorm and stuff. They're still not bad weapons. Like, they're not overpowered. Yeah. And I don't know whether it's just because he's been playing Warframe and the weapons in that game are stupidly strong. Like, they really like make content easy. That's cool for like Warframe, right? But Wayfinder doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be, I'm just going to fucking one-shot every mob with a Kuva Brahma and stuff. I know Kuva Brahma's old meta, but don't come at me in the comments. But still, like, this game shouldn't be, I come in, I tap a boss for 10 seconds and it's dead. There should be a challenge to this. I feel like this is where this game separates from Warframe. Warframe doesn't really have a challenge to it outside of times. Like, you got speed clearing in that game. But outside of that, there's nothing that's hard. Going up to level 9,999, not hard. Like, so I feel like, nothing he really said there stood out. And like, for those of you still complaining about Titan's Bane, go look at the Reaver King video. I'm using Titan's Bane in that. Like,
it's still disgusting.
Yeah, like, you want to do that with Eclipse, go ahead, because you're not. And if you want to do that with was it Juggernaut?
Yeah.
Go ahead, you'll smash the bar quicker than me, but you ain't backing that up with the damage numbers and that. Like, right now it's still on top form. Like,
No, I completely agree. Like, it's just like, I just feel like this video came out very prematurely. Like, if he put this out maybe when Season 2 came out and, we're still like having the same issues with experience. Like, if Experience Scrolls, as you were saying, didn't come out in Season 2, and I think it would just be a bit more based if this came out like 2 months later. But I think for where the game is at now, it's still Season 1. They said we're not making any changes until Season 2. We're just like, we're doing a whole big change coming in Season 2. So it's just like, to say these things, like, firstly with the experience gains and like a couple other things you kind of mentioned, it's just like, I understand your frustration, but it's still like, you can't just say it's such a pain right now, because there's a lot of there's a lot of quality of like life things coming very, very soon. And also, like, him not getting to level 30 with his first Wayfinder was very strange to me because I was playing solo, and then if I did all the main quests, like I got to level 30. Maybe he didn't do his priority quests because like I know they do a big help in like at least getting 1 or 2 wayfinders to level 30s at the very least. So it's like
See,
maybe
that's why I think it is now. I've got to test it, right? But I'm at the opinion because of the XP buffs that we got off the hunting expeditions and stuff.
yeah.
If you went back and replayed through the story,
Mm-hmm.
you probably would find yourself at level 30 on a wayfinder. Keeping in mind as well, right? This game's meant to have repeatable quests. You're meant to go farming for other wayfinders. You're earning XP through that. You're meant to farm materials. You're meant to do that, right? That's all XP.
Yep.
Doesn't look like no offense, doesn't look like he's done that. And with the weapon, like I could understand if Titan's Bane had been nerfed as bad as Epitaph, you know, like if it was down at that range, because let's be honest, Epitaph does need a buff. Like, what's the point of Epitaph at this point? But that's just another conversation. But like to really sum it up, like he does bring up some good points, but it's like a glass half full. It hits the note, but it kind of like
it's not true. If you play the game, you can tell like that video was not it. I think it's more so emotional that maybe his favorite weapon got nerfed or something, and like
yeah, but it didn't get nerfed as bad as what he makes it out to be, right? It's not as bad. Like,
well, I mean, it could just be also his breaking point. Like a lot of factors have like contributed him to thinking about leaving the game, and maybe these little things were just kind of added up to being like, okay, I'm kind of done with it.
Possibly. So for the Titan's Bane, if I went back and I actually done some testing, Beastmaster is where I done the testing. You know the difference on clear time? It's seconds. Seconds.
Right.
Yeah, people are literally freaking out about Titan's Bane for seconds. Not a large, but we're talking probably like less than 5.
Well, I just have to address it because he's like a big name, and like I just hope for like the casual people like listening, like it's not as bad as like some big YouTubers are making it out to be. Essentially, is like my whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything to say about it, Atlantis?
Yeah, I'm actually curious what they got to say about this because I'm not sure if they agree with me or not. But yeah, let's hear it. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
I kind of agree with you as far as the XP scrolls. First of all, I don't know. Like, this is the first time I've ever watched a video of his. I've never played Warframe, so I'm not familiar with a lot of like the Warframe content creators. But yeah, I mean, XP has definitely gotten better since some of the changes. Could it still be improved? Of course, but like you said, that's going to come with when there's the XP scrolls are in play, when there's job boards. I'm sure it's going to be easier. The thing is, it's not as just clear cut as like, I want to be able to play this game and level it up as fast as I want as like an individual, because there's so many aspects to it. There's data that the team has to collect. So if they had it to where you could just melt right through everything 1 through 30, how many players then would now just be like, well, there's nothing else to do, I'm leaving the game anyway? Then that's just less data they're getting, or they complain. So like, I understand that they're kind of gating some things most likely, and at the same time probably fixing stuff. But he definitely, if he hasn't played since then, weapon nerfs, like we spoke about earlier, I think they're all 3 just as solid. I mean, and this is going to sound a little bit, I'm not saying this is the case at all. I doubt this is the case for most people, but there's always like, for someone that's big like that, if you mentioned there are Warframe YouTube creators, so like there's always a chance. Again, I'm not saying this case, and it's probably like 1 out of every 20 that's this way, but there's some chance he doesn't want Wayfinder to get big, because if Warframe is his thing, if it's gonna splinter any, because if Wayfinder does grow, Warframe is probably gonna lose some players, because there's already been an influx of them to Wayfinder. So you never know if he's already going into it like, I don't really want this to succeed in the first point. So, but yeah, I think XP will definitely improve. The weapon changes. That doesn't. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, but
yeah. No, completely based as well. I think you weren't off the mark or anything. I completely agree. So,
my main question to that is as well. Like, let's say you have a, put yourself in his shoes. You've got a really favorite weapon, okay?
Right.
Would you still quit even if it did get nerfed down to epitaph levels?
No, I just pick a different weapon.
There you go.
Actually, like that's like, I think we on our first podcast, I think that was one of the things I mentioned. That's what I like about this game. because I played World of Warcraft for the longest, and I played a rogue, and so your spec, your weapon, like assassination, for example, you only use daggers, and so if assassination that spec was nerfed to the ground, you literally had to restart the entire like a whole new class or have your ults ready and restart the process. And
Yeah,
this is like, you know what? Okay, fine. There's 4 other daggers to pick from. How many guns?
exactly.
Six guns so far, and there's only gonna grow. So
Yep.
I mean,
No,
My last question to you on that about balance. All right. Can you see this game having room for the type of MMO balance that the devs seemingly are trying, at least at this point in time, trying to do with the weapons, where everything's kind of closer to each other within a set margin? Or would you sooner the weapons be a little more like Warframe, where you have an overpowered set, and then you have a couple of underdogs which you would just level up for the mastery XP and not really touch?
well, yeah, like I said, I never played Warframes, but I think I see what you mean as far as them being OP. I think it's just a disservice if they just have an OP set. It's kind of the state. I don't know if you guys play a lot of FPS games, but I was playing a lot of Warzone and COD for the longest, and it goes through those phases where a gun gets OP and you have like 20 different guns to choose from, but everybody's rocking the same one. It's pretty, in my opinion, it's just cheesy. Like, why do you have all of these others in the game then? I think balancing is a whole different can of worms because we already have the discussions about range being safer, in some aspects stronger, right, if it is safer, but like people calling for DPS meters, that's where it starts to get crazy because if you want Sword and Shield to stand out, it's going to come into design. Like they need more telegraphs that are I almost personally I would prefer that they don't nerf DPS of guns. I just prefer that they make telegraphs that are more geared towards range players. So like if Melee's playing and they're up on a boss, there's a telegraph that goes out that forces the people that's not going to touch melee. They don't even see it, but it forces the range to have to lose a little DPS to dash or dash twice or stop what they're doing. Because then if it becomes a DPS race and the raids and dungeons and hard modes aren't designed well, then you would never take anything that can't just max out damage. Like people talk about making builds that can heal or making builds that can tank and support builds, but none of that will be useful if it's just strictly pump, and that's going to come into design. So,
no, very well said. That's a really good point.
Yeah. What about you two, Tap? What's your thoughts on it, buddy?
Yeah. Going back to the video, I also think that he's overreacting to the nerfs. I mean, my favorite weapon got nerfed, the Tempest, and I can definitely feel the change because it takes out a lot of DPS. But I mean, the Tempest is still borderline broken, so I'm fine with it. And as far as XP goes, I don't have a problem with that because I'm a very grindy person
Yeah.
to begin with. So I, for example, have just been farming XP at Beastmaster because I still need my double offensive feather and fang. So I'm just grinding Beastmaster. And also he was talking about making XP easily accessible, and I feel like so the patch hit 1 week ago, right?
Yep.
If I only farmed the recipes for the weapons, crafted the weapons instantly, and did Beastmaster with me, Atlantis, and Hane, we could probably level the weapons up in less than 3 days.
yeah.
So, and I don't I think it's a bad game design if you could just craft a weapon,
Yeah.
like 4 weapons, for example, and level them all up within 3 hours.
Yeah, and I think that's a very
I
good
mean,
point because I think one thing people forget is like in this game, once you get like a really rare drop, it's yours forever. And it's not like it's going to get replaced in the next like month or so. It's going to be very viable. So making it hard to achieve is not a bad thing.
exactly, and also with the resonance scrolls that are going to hit in season 2. I mean, let's say one resonance scrolls give you 1k XP. That's my expectation as of right now. You would need 460 scrolls to max out a weapon. I
Yep.
mean, it takes time to grind out, but if you just you level your main weapon up and your main
Yeah.
character up, you just run whatever dungeons you want for like, I don't know, 50, 60 hours, you'll have the
Mhm.
500, even less than 60 hours. I mean, you could even do it in like 10. I genuinely think you can farm. Okay, maybe
Yep.
not 10, but like 20 to
20,
25
30
hours.
hours, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
you
say
could
20,
probably
30 hours
farm
could
out.
have, if not all, most of everything.
Exactly. So I mean, in 20 hours you can level up a weapon without even touching it, just
Yep.
through the resonance scrolls. So
Mhm.
I feel like people are going a little bit overboard with the XP, and I mean, nobody. I mean, you don't need to be leveling everything up before season 2,
Exactly.
or like
Like, if you're a
you're not in a
casual
rush.
player, like, just find your favorite player and then just build your character up, right? Like, and that's fine.
Exactly.
I
And like, I
think what
mean,
it is as well in Warframe, you can level weapons up in literally like 5 minutes,
Mm,
like from one max level. Then you can form it and do it again 5 minutes.
yeah. No, and I
And
think
I
that's
think that's
mean,
kind of where the difference is hitting. And maybe
it's just
that, like, he's got expectations of it being very close to that, where maybe it only takes
Mhm,
like an hour or two.
mhm.
Um, yeah, just
No.
you can't really compare the games. Like this game,
Yeah.
it in my opinion should never be like Warframe, and in some respects should actually stay away from Warframe because there are some flawed designs in that as well.
Yep.
Um, and if this game can take a more MMO kind of stance, and I think this is where it'll differ. It will
Mm.
stand out in its own way. Um, but I really don't need another Warframe clone because I may as well just go and play Warframe. I may as if I wanna one shot mobs really easily,
Yep.
then Warframe. But if I want something that's a little more balanced or something that's a little more challenging, this game.
No,
Why not?
completely agree. I think it's like in just closing, it'll just be like a difference in mentality. And I don't think you can expect Warframe mentality in this game. That's basically it. But in saying all this, I think the final segment is I think last time when Tap was on, he didn't have time to do a proper tier list, and I think this time you came prepared, Tap.
Oh boy, yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Well,
Okay.
So
well
So
remembered.
the
Well
f- the
remembered.
yeah, the floor is yours. So yeah, take it away. Where do you have everything with all the nerfs and everything going on?
If you can just start with the low tier. Start with the low tier, work your way up.
okay, so I made one for solo and one for party. So I'll start with
Okay,
solo.
sounds good.
In C tier, I have Senja because
Yep,
I really don't enjoy Senja.
yep.
In B tier,
That
we
sounds about
have
right.
yeah. In B tier, we have Nis on the bottom, and
Okay.
we have normal Kairos at the top of B tier.
Mm-hmm.
In A tier, we have heroic Kairos at the bottom, and we have
Yep.
Wingrave at the top.
Oh,
And in
okay.
S tier, we have Silo on top and Venomous on
Yeah,
bottom.
fair enough. What was the distinction between regular Kairos and heroic Kairos, like that made you put heroic Kairos at A?
Heroic Kairos just have one more echo slot, and I
I
feel,
guess. So the echo
I mean,
slot you made was warranted for an A?
I mean, I feel like Kairos is decent. So
Mm.
I mean, I guess it was just not to put two Kairoses in the same tier. But I mean, to be fair,
Yeah.
I probably should have put heroic Kairos in the top of B tier above normal
In the top of
Kairos.
there? Okay, there you go. Okay. No, no, I like this. I'm a
Um,
Wolf making sure not Kairos gets nerfed.
No, no,
and
nothing like that. Yeah.
yeah, so in party play, I actually have Nis in C tier.
Oh, okay.
I have normal Kairos in B tier.
Mm-hmm.
And then in A tier, we have heroic Kairos at the bottom.
Yep.
We have Senja in the middle, and we have
Damn,
Wingrave at the
Stenja's on
top.
an A in group play. Let me just get this right.
I would definitely say that Senja goes from a C tier in solo to an A tier in group play for sure. Because
Yep.
I mean, for a supportive character, she can really make the Silo or the Venomous do like
Hmm.
120% more damage.
Fair enough, fair enough. Is there some insider strats into Saturday's event?
Tap, man, stop.
I'm not
Tap.
saying
Tap.
no. Yeah, I will keep
I
it
just
at
had to
that.
call you
Okay.
out on. I love this. I love this.
And then for the
Yeah.
S tier, I switched around Venomous and Silo. I actually think that Venomous is better than Silo in group play.
I think so too. I think you hit the nail on the head. I love both. I mean Silo and Ven are like my mains. And yeah, I think Ven is just in group play so much better than Silo. It almost feels like Silo is like dragging the team back. But
I don't know. I mean, if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would probably put Silo above Venomous. But after I've played a lot
really,
with Atlantis
yeah.
here in the past few days, I mean, when I, I'm using Temper, so I'm like kind of close to the
Yeah.
enemy, and he's
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
when he pops his heals, I'm also
Mhm.
getting the heals, so
Yeah.
that's very nice. But I mean,
Mhm.
you don't underestimate the Silo clone in party play.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
true. The clone
I'm
is. I always
I'll
forget the clone. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that because
Yeah, the clone is very powerful. I think because I was running more of an Arcstorm build, so that's why I was probably leaning a bit more towards Ven. But I think more so with the Tempest build, and you have a Ven healing next to Sila. Yeah, I think you could do some filthy stuff.
yeah, exactly.
No,
And,
that's interesting. I think like the only critique I have of your group play is just good luck trying to find a Senja player.
I mean, we can always get Caleb in, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I
Caleb,
don't know if you
right?
guys know Caleb, but
Yeah,
he's kind of Senja main.
he's a Senja
That
main.
was
Yeah,
that was my problem with the
Mhm.
Knights vs Nemesis. Is there were a couple of bosses I would have
Yep.
really liked to have run a Senja, but
Yeah.
um that would mean sacrificing my Venomess player to get that, and the other guy
Mm,
doesn't have Venomess or Senja, so I
mm,
kind of didn't really get to explore the opportunity. But I have seen some great gameplay with Senja in when she's
Yep.
more there just for a buffer and a taunter.
Yep.
But it's you kind of got to know what you're doing on the fight as well. There's not
Mm.
there's no self healing. It's not a Wingrave, for example. You can't just stand there and take a hit. Like you gotta be a little manageable.
Yeah.
But the 30%, I think it's 30%. Vecna said he can damage buff it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a nice pull for a couple of
Yeah.
things, a couple of bosses. Yeah,
No.
but
I mean,
I still think rework on the cards is needed
yeah.
for Senja.
Well, I think
I
with
mean,
the Reaver King, would you put Wingrave and S tier? You reckon that's
Yeah,
warranted?
I'm being biased. I'm saying yes to that. Okay, he's S tier.
I think
Bubble
so.
Burn
so
carries Pug so hard.
I would probably put Wingrave at the bottom of S tier. I would still say that
Yeah,
Venomous and Silo is a buff.
I think so
You know
too.
what?
Is a buff.
I would I'll take that actually. Yeah, I think that's really good because they can do the fight faster, right? But like Atlantis has already kind of if he hasn't uploaded it yet, he soon will do. Okay,
He
he
did.
will prove NMS can do it faster than Bubble Burn Wingrave. And
Yeah,
I think that's justified, like lower to S. Like he is more useful in that fight, but he's still not as good as some in the damage category for
Mm.
times, right? There are other
I
Wayfinders
mean,
doing.
I I really think you overthink this bubble thing because okay, we'll talk about it after the first event, I think.
We'll have to come back. Yeah, that'll be a really good. That'll be a really good conversation.
I'm gonna assume Tap's comp is either gonna be
Right. No, I think with that all being said, thank you guys so much for coming on. And yeah, just giving your thoughts on the new content update. It's a pleasure to have you guys as always, and you're always welcome back.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
for
Thanks for
sure.
having us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. You want to
Oh,
have any closing statements, Tom, and end it?
yeah, so as always, we'll have these guys' channels in the link below. Make
Yep.
sure you check them out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for them. Good content creators, dedicated Wayfinder players. Don't want to miss them out. As for the rest of you, you know the drill by now. We have a Discord. You can join as a community or apply to join the guild. Make sure you enter our Discord. Make sure you get signed up in any events that we host as well. Some good fun coming, just taking a little more time than normal. There is going to be another giveaway soon as well, so you can get in on that. And with that, make sure you smash that like button
Smash
and
it.
hit the subscribe. Yeah, if that like button isn't broke, I'm gonna be
Yep.
disappointed. We are Retribution Gaming. With us is Atlantis and 2Tap. I'm gonna catch you in the next video. See you later, guys.
Bye bye.